I am in favor of the truth. I want to know every detail about what happened, and I want the American people to know as much detail as possible about what happened. And I am personally, and I believe the committee is going to go wherever the truth takes us. For me, this is not a political issue. I said this back in October of last year. Whatever they did in this election in 2016 to the Democrats, they will do one day to a Republican or Republicans, including those engaged in measures in Congress that perhaps Putin sees as unfriendly. And so for us, this sounds, cliche-ish. It sounds in many ways idealistic, but this has to be a nonpartisan issue because it can affect all of us.
Do you believe that Attorney General Jeff Sessions should recuse himself because he was part of the very campaign that he's now looking at?
Well, first of all, we have to see if there's a need for an investigation. That's the first thing. And,
well, isn't the FBI right now, the FBI is engaging in an investigation.
Well, I think you'll have to ask the FBI to comment on what they're involved and engaged in now. I am not in a position to be able to do that at this point because they wouldn't share that with anyone. The FBI doesn't. It neither confirms nor denies pending investigations. That said,
well, sometimes they have.
Well, in this case, they have not, and in most cases, they do not. And so my point to you is we're going to gather the information as it pertains to the intelligence community. And once that is put together, then we will be able to make that judgment about whether or not there should even be one and who should be the appropriate person to conduct it. But I think we're not at that stage yet. And I know everyone in this day and age, we want everything to happen, in 24, 48 hours. You cannot do a probe of something as significant as this without taking the time to do it right. I mean, we're talking about an election for the presidency of the United States of America. We're talking about a foreign government's interference in that process. It has to be fact-based, and we have to have the information. So this is not, I think it needs to be done responsibly and above any effort of anyone to be able to question.
So then you disagree with Darrell Issa that the Attorney General at this point even should recuse himself from being involved in this investigation?
Well, again, as I said, I'm not even going to be able to confirm to you that there is one.
Well, except the problem with the logic that you're saying is that the Attorney General often is the one who would decide whether or not there is an investigation and direct the FBI.
Right, but if
the Attorney General is potentially compromised, how can we trust his judgment?
Well, that's two different things. The Attorney General and the Justice Department would choose whether to prosecute or move forward on evidence gathered by law enforcement, or in this case by the Senate Intelligence Committee. The Senate Intelligence Committee is conducting this investigation. We will gather facts. We will gather evidence. We will present that in a report to the Senate and ultimately to the American people. And then I believe people will be able to opine about whether or not that is something worthy of the intervention of the Justice Department. And at that time, we would opine. But I don't even know if it will rise to that level. I'm not prepared to say that. It might. And if it does, we'll act. And if it doesn't, we won't.